Hello everyone, I'm Dheeraj Chan. Finally back to YouTube. Today's video gonna be really amazing. As the title already says, we're gonna talk about MLH Fellowship application, and I have an amazing person today with me. He's Apoorv is working on Solana Labs for MLH Fellowship for this summer. He's been working for as an GitHub extend for Symbol AI. Amazing community person. Met him on GitHub Field Day Delhi this year. So let's bring him here and let's talk with him for the introduction. Hey Abu,
Hello, how is it going, Dheeraj?
everything's good. What about you?
Yeah, it's going great. Pretty much excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to introduce yourself?
So hello everyone. My name is Apoorv. I'm a third year student from Maharaj Agsan Institute of Technology, IPU Delhi, and currently I'm working with Solana Labs as MLH Fellow for this summer. Before this, before this, I was working with the Symbol AI as a part of GitHub externship. So yeah, I'm majorly a full stack web developer. Started with Web 2, currently in Web 3 for the Solana.
Yeah,
So yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
that's really awesome. Um, if I just want to ask you like a quick introduction about the MLH Fellowship, if someone's new to this video and just joining in, so would you like to talk about a little bit about MLH? What is MLH Fellowship specifically?
From my perspective, MLH Fellowship is like a replacement for like internships we do in college. So, like
Yeah,
MLH Fellowship gives you an opportunity to work with like very well-known startups as well as big companies like Meta and GitHub, and some well-funded startups like I'm working
yeah.
with one with Solana Labs. So yeah, so MLH Fellowship gives you a great amount of exposure and experience, and it obviously looks good on LinkedIn profile. So yeah.
It definitely, I guess there are so many MLH fellows which I have heard, and they always talk about that this was the starting point for me, and the growth
Yeah,
I have gotten after this is just amazing.
yeah,
Yeah. And
definitely agree to that.
talking about the selection, talking about the eligibility criteria, if I'm not wrong, just to make sure uh, some who's joining new, it's just that you have to be 18 plus,
Yeah,
and some small other stuff like you don't have to reside in a country which is having problems with USA and all that stuff, right?
yeah, yeah. Internet connectivity, good AV
Yes.
setup, and that's pretty much it for the
Yeah.
eligibility part.
Pretty much, if you're a developer, I guess you can pretty
Yeah,
much just join in.
yeah,
Um, Also, there are also some other programs. There is one MLH Prep program which has been introduced, I guess, in a
yeah,
year only. So,
yeah.
what would be a difference between a prep fellowship and a main program itself?
So previously, like we used to have a explorer track, so that pretty much resembles the prep program. Just the difference is like the prep program is a 3 weeks program, which is a shorter
Yeah,
than the main fellowship. So it's like a good for exposure purpose, creating projects, gaining more confidence,
yeah,
and like an internal fact. So there happened a live stream before the main fellowship of this summer batch, where the person known as Amanda, who basically manages
yeah,
everything for MLH Fellowship, she quoted that MLH Prep Fellows have 14 times more chances than non-Prep Fellows for the
yeah.
getting selected in the main fellowship. So yeah, that's definitely a go-to, and it does not include any stipend or something of that sort, which
Yeah.
main fellowship includes. But yeah, it's great for building projects and gaining confidence.
And I also believe if you're a beginner and just don't
Yeah,
have that confidence, I guess it can be a great start for getting started into fellowship and get that experience. Also, you
yeah,
said about the 14% chance, and I'm pretty sure at MLH Fellowship they definitely care about that particular stuff. Yeah, so
yeah,
that's great. Also about the stipend, let's just get it clear it out. Usually, internet says it's $5,000, but would you like to just give it a brief about that?
so so basically what previously used to happen, there used to be a need based stipend where you could apply for scholarship, and
Uh,
you would be assigned a amount of stipend according to the program and according to your needs that you require. But now what has happened in my batch, basically, this has I'm not sure if that happened with the just previous batch, but from my batch onwards, they have they have designed like a fixed stipend according to the purchasing power parity of the country.
Yeah.
So like there is a fixed stipend rule, and like you cannot apply for a higher stipend or a fellowship. So you get a fixed amount for the 3 months that is paid in two halves. So one
Yeah.
in the mid July and one at the
And
ending of the fellowship.
so, and this is also something which is decided over your country and the parity power or something that. And I think I will also add a link if you want to check out about your country, what how much stipend you will be getting. So now that that part is clear, and everyone who's watching might be getting a little bit introduction about the fellowship itself. Now let's talk about the main topic of the video, talking about this application process. Now, if you have checked out the fellowship application process just to check out the to how to the apply, you might have seen about there are questions related to your project code sample. Before that, we do have questions regarding your how much time will you be giving, what are some your tech stacks and all that stuff. But the main part where it comes is about your code sample, right? So let's talk about little about that. First of all, I would like to ask, what was your code sample when you applied for a fellowship?
So basically, like when I was in second year, there used to be a program called as MS Microsoft Engage. So
Yes.
I applied for that. I got shortlisted, but because I had like my current internship, not current, but the internship at that time I was doing that just started at that time, so I wasn't able to make time for that, and I wasn't able to create a project for that. So that problem statement remained in my mind, that the video calling app and the MS Teams clone. So after my internship ended, I took some time out for my personal project, and I like all of the things and all of the things that I learned from my internship, code practices and
Yeah.
different tech stack. I used all of that to implement that into a project. It was called Easy Call. So Easy Call was basically like a video calling application. It has a Excalibur whiteboard inbuilt. It has a chat. It has chat support in
Oh, nice.
during the video call, and it has a different interface for a chat room specific. So you can create groups, you can chat, you can add new people to groups, you can delete the groups and all of that. Pretty much around the communication part.
Does it support? Is it like a video platform? If I'm not wrong, right?
So yeah, it was basically a communication platform, like video calling and
Yeah.
chat based
So
communication.
can we use it as an alternative for Gmeet now that it only supports 1 hour?
Yeah, like definitely you can do that, but like it's deployed on a very much
Yeah.
like a very small server for demonstration purpose only. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to use it, I'll need a big
Yeah.
Google servers to
But
support
I
that.
will definitely add links in the description so
Yeah,
you all can check out and maybe try out how long it stays there.
yeah.
Um, Also, now talking about, as you mentioned about your code sample and the tech stacks were, if I'm not wrong, it was web based. So you must have used some for front end React, and maybe for back end you must have used Express and yeah, Munch stack basically, if I'm not wrong.
So basically, I used React along with sockets with the backend, and I used Firestore and Firebase for data storage and authentication purposes.
Makes sense. Got it. So there is a lot of discussion about, like, among people who wants to apply. They just always ask other people, "Oh, what which tech stack should I use while applying for it?" And I kind of doesn't that question doesn't make sense much, because it's more like you just wanna apply rather than you wanna use your skills to make a project and then maybe apply for it. So do you have any thoughts on that? Like when people ask like which tech stack or language they should follow while applying
so
or while
so
creating
uh,
project for it.
so from my understanding, like in a batch of MLH fellowship, there are different projects and different organizations that would demand different tech stacks. So like there would be something for everyone.
Yeah.
Like in my batch, there is like if you have a Python proficiency, you can be selected for the production engineering track. that is supported by Meta, and
Yeah.
like other different tech stacks. Like if you are in Web3, you can be in Solana, even if you don't have much experience in Web3, because like me, I was in pure Web2 before
Yeah.
getting in MLH Fellowship. So I didn't have any Web3 experience, but still I got selected for Solana. So like obviously, if you are good at something, you can be good at another thing as well. So the basic purpose of MLH is that only, that you get
Yeah.
learnings and you get new exposure.
Th- that's totally true. Whether deciding on a tech stack based on someone else's experience, it's always good to just go out with what skills you have. And there is always, as you said, in my pod itself, there are so many folks who are not that familiar with Web3, but they are doing still amazing work, and we are figuring out. It's all about, I guess, collaboration and how one can learn from other, and the other can try to teach them and learn together. Yeah.
Yeah, like a funny incident, that in my pod there is a iOS developer and he's assigned an Android project. So
Ah,
like there is something for everyone, and
something for
you
everyone.
always
Yes.
get to know new things.
One tip that I would like to give at least is, when you are applying, try to either so there is MLH has a Discord server, and I think it also has a Ask Fellowship as a channel. And I would say that if you're applying for, let's say, if, not for prep, because prep doesn't actually have companies, but if you're applying for fellowship, you can ask there which companies are coming there and what tech stack they are using, which you can find out from Google. So if you're really interested and if you want to increase chances, I can say that if you know, let's say, JavaScript or TypeScript, then maybe you can make a project regarding it, because let's say Solana you needs TypeScript or Rust as a language. So there are some preference from the company side also. So this actually at least helps, according to me, that if you it kind of lets the company know that if I'm gonna select this person for the fellowship, I know that okay, the person has some skills regarding the project itself. So that's
Yeah,
something I would like to share. Yeah. Um,
yeah, definitely agreed to that.
so let's say now your project is done, right? Now usually folks just apply directly after project is done, thinking, oh yeah, it's just like the best project I have made, which is not wrong. Having confidence regarding that, nothing's wrong with that. But according to me, there should be things which you should definitely take care, even though you have done your project, like making the code sample more attractive, regarding, let's say, readme comments and all that stuff. So what is your opinion, and how one can follow some uh, stuff that makes the readme attractive, how it can be more descriptive?
So like definitely I would say that a good readme is a like a, a condition of a good
Yeah.
project. so
Yes.
so like if you are using GitHub to its fullest, you are making pull requests, you are reviewing pull requests, then it obviously gives a
Yeah.
good feedback of you and a good impression of you. So I would suggest that make like have a clean directory structure, use clean coding practices, good coding practices, create a good readme which has some steps to do local development, clone the repo, and how to like run it locally,
Yeah.
and like some basic info like what tech stack you have used, how you deployed it, or other like things like features and all of that.
Yeah.
So like that definitely gives a good impression of the project. Yeah.
uh, So other questions which I usually get it, and I'm pretty sure you also get it. What are the how, according to you, how does reviewer thinks that okay, this project can be graded as a good project, or it can be selected for the next round?
Okay, so from my understanding, what I believe, that if a project solves a real problem and it's not a part of any boot camp or a course, then
Yeah.
and you have made it from the scratch, there is a good commit history, there are good practices that have been used, there is a good coding practices, there is a efficient tech stack, and the project is deployed and things are working,
Yeah.
then definitely then it gives a good impression, and I would definitely think that the reviewer will take that project to next round.
Yeah. And I kind of believe the same. If you have followed, like, you don't have to get overwhelmed by there's so many things. It's really small stuff. Like while you are writing the commit, it's really easy to just write, okay, what I have done, rather than saying, oh, there was this error, and I'm laughing in the comment. That's really weird comments to actually share there, right? So these are really small stuff which can uh, make the reviewer happy, and maybe he she they can take your application ahead by this small stuff. And so that is something definitely you have to look for when you are submitting your code sample. And you also have to describe the code sample in your application, which I believe can totally be related to what you write in readme. And talking about the learnings you have gotten from that side, I believe it's really a really personal side. Like, one can't say that write this while you are writing for what you have learned from the sample. But at least one thing which I would like to share on that is, try to mention that you still want to upgrade the project. You still want to make it more better. You want to make it better rather than saying, oh yes, now I'm done with it and I will not like to go ahead with it. Just try to share your opinions regarding that. Okay, this is that I've learned, and this is something that I have learned from this whole project, because I believe that should be there, rather than you said, oh, I already knew all that stuff, so this project was piece of cake for me. So rather than saying that, maybe you can mention that. Do you have any thoughts about that?
So yeah, like definitely when you are making a project, you will encounter different scenarios where you feel like I need to Google this error, or
Yeah,
I so like they definitely help you learn something. And like if you are using a tool, like if you are using something that you haven't used till now, then it does give you a good experience and new skills. So of course you can mention your journey, like what I knew, what I learned, and all of
yeah.
that.
And also, one thing that I would just like to add is, your project does not need to be done, because that thing is never gonna, you will
Yeah.
never reach to the point. Because even if you are, let's say, creating a website, you'll always feel like, okay, this is something which I can make it better. Or this speed can be increased, or that thing can be more improved. What I would say, just apply for it, because it's not like, okay, someone was waiting for your application, right? There would be still time, and they even mention after 1 week or 2 week that, okay, we are starting the review right now. So you can definitely apply right now, and there is a lot of time, right, in the middle of, let's say, interviews and the application process. You can always apply there and do the project simultaneously if you want to improve more. So that is something which lets the if I was a reviewer, I would definitely come to know ki, okay, this person applied that time, but it's still improving the
Making
project, and not
contributions.
just, yeah, not just stopped right there. So that's something that I would like to add. Okay, I hope everything is clear for the code sample and the project side. If you got to learn something new from that side, create a thread, share it with others, take a screenshots or something. But yeah, now talking about the essay questions, which are really important, because that is something which reviewers will look for the first, because they should get a feeling that, okay, why do you want to become an MLH fellow? What will you bring to the your pod, or to the people will you be surrounded for the 12 weeks? So let's get started with the first question itself. Why do you want to become a MLH fellow? Apurva, tell me, why do you want to become an MLH fellow?
So I feel like MLH fellowship has a quite interesting concept,
Yes.
like working with maintainers, improving the projects on be it a closed source project or a open
Yeah.
source project, whatever track bait you get to learn from very different and very skilled people who have been in industry for quite a long time. And like it definitely adds to experience, because there is definitely a gap between the college education and the industry skill set.
Yeah.
So definitely like people like programs like these MLH fellowship, they bridge the gap between these two, and
Yeah.
like help you to attain a level of skill set that is required, and that would be appreciated by any interviewer or any company, and
Th- th-
definitely help you to land a good job.
that is really, really true stuff which you just said right now. And it's also, thing is that, try to take your time while writing these essay questions. There is no hurry in that. These questions are meant to be like, just imagine a reviewer gets thousands of applications, okay, and they actually check those thousands of applications by reading their essay questions and those questions. and the and the code sample question itself. And to make the reviewer believe that okay, you are a person who actually wants to become an MLH fellow, and not just saying that okay, I want to get in because it's a good opportunity. Try to make it even more descriptive, that as Apurva said, that it will help me bridge the gap between my educational interest and the industry. It will help me work with some other outstanding mentors, maintainers. Try to be more descriptive. No need to take these words. Try to be more descriptive and just share your stuff, that okay, if I become this, I will get this opportunities. What will I bring? You can also add that okay, I have these skills which can help the other pod fellows or MLH fellows, and if I will become one, then I'll be able to share this and that. So I guess that at least helps you. And the the question, usually people just don't think much about it. They just start writing stuff, as I mentioned earlier, that I will just they write it more about their accomplishments rather than saying what will they be getting after it, rather than saying, oh, I have this skills, that's why I want to become one. That's not that, like, it does reside with the question, you will be a uh, are you a great fit or not, but I still believe it does not that much relate to that question. And like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, should a person just talk about their accomplishments, or should it be a mixture of both, where they're talking about what will they be getting and what they have achieved till now?
So MLH Fellowship is basically a educational program, and a good part of it focuses on what you will be learning, what you will be bringing to the table when you will be
Yeah.
selected as a MLH Fellow. What you will be like, if you get skills, will you be giving? You are free to share to other people's. Are you willing to teach someone a new concept? Are you
Yes.
willing to learn a new concept? And like that matters a lot, I guess.
That perspective definitely, if you mention this small things, that definitely makes the reviewer believe that okay, this person wants to learn, the person wants to help, and not just talk about their achievements, that I have this skills and that is important to mention, but there should be a mixture of the perspective and that stuff. And which also brings up to the second question, which is related to totally this, that what will you be bringing to the table, and what is your what is there in your personality which will be a good thing for the fellows or the fellowship itself.
Yeah. So I feel like I have been like a big fan of community and
Yeah.
enthusiastic person. So I have been involved with quite a lot of communities. I have like teached like when I was in first year, I knew I learned Git and GitHub, and I thought it is such an amazing thing. I
Mhm.
thought like in 11th 12th, when we have computer science, we used to give files and printed pages of
Yeah.
code samples. So like with that motivation, I even conducted a get and get up session for my school 11th and 12th students, and
Oh,
even
nice.
10th students. So yeah, that so I have been like a believer that knowledge shared is knowledge multiplied. So
Yep.
like I was selected
Totally
for
agree with that.
when I was selected for the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, I also conducted a session on TypeScript and JavaScript, which I knew at that time.
Yeah.
Although I'm more proficient now, but what I knew at that time, I tried to impart that knowledge, because for a beginner, if you give a good start,
Yeah.
then it's like always helpful, and like it's good to do that and give back to the community. So
Yeah.
that's what I have been believing. So definitely, if I get new knowledge and new things, then I'll be sharing with others.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sharing your knowledge, even if you are learning on day one, can definitely even help a day zero person, which is such a great thing which you have in your hands. But you don't actually think that much because it's like, oh, I'm still a beginner, but you can still help a person who's just getting started. So that's definitely. And also about the question, it requires an experience. A person just does can't bring a perspective. As according to me, if you're just starting out, I would say get involved in the MLH community itself. attend a hackathon, write your experience, what you gotten from there. That I attended an MLH hackathon recently. What were the fun stuff which you did? So let's say I attended the MLH hackathon, and these were the great things that happened to me, and the community was welcoming to me, and these experiences are something new to the reviewer, because the person keeps listening to, or keeps reading, okay, this person is energetic, this person is a leader, this person has helped people. But these are some small experiences which are something new, and I believe that these are this can be a differential factor. Like, okay, these are some good skills which the person already has, but the person has already been involved in the community itself, and that also MLH community. So that makes the reviewer think, okay, this person can be a good fit because the person has been involved in our community already. So that's something which you should definitely add, and it won't come directly unless you attend any event which were happening there, because I don't think so doing this artificially won't be that real, and a reviewer will be able to get it directly. And, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, like if you have real life experiences and you are writing about the real life experience, then it adds to the like the credibility of the answer you
Yes.
are writing. So it will like help. And if you so I'll suggest like try to gain some experiences, some real life experiences which are aligned to this question, because this
Yeah.
question you will find in a lot of places.
Yes.
So if you are like experiencing a hackathon, if you are attending events, you are making connections, you are organizing any event, you are
Event. Yeah.
hosting anything. So that would definitely help in writing these answers, because
Yeah.
you have lived that movement and you have that real life experience of that.
And and I myself had written about the global hack week, which is earlier used to be local hack build, and that was the first time I was actually accepted after the essay round. And that is one thing which I got to know, that every time, if like essays questions are basically everywhere, there is a program. And if when you share about your experiences related to the program itself, or the experience which you gotten from their community, that definitely helps, because that is something new you bring to the questions answer itself. So that is something I guess we both agree to on, and that is something which you should definitely have it as a tip if you want to take it like that. So let's get go to the FAQ section. We got some questions, so I will be referring them with a third person. So first question is, are there projects with all the domains, or only some domains are there? Like, if the person was basically asking, if a person wants to apply for Android development, does the chances decreases a little bit, as we talked earlier, that you should focus on more uh, projects which are coming, those tech stacks. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
So in a cohort, like in the summer cohort or in winter cohort, there is a definitely a set of projects that are there. And there are a very vast variety of projects. There are web projects which need JavaScript, TypeScript.
Yeah.
There are Android projects. There are GraphQL projects as well. There are C++ projects, and like on the core C and C++ designing part, that projects are there as well. But I feel like the most chances are for the web projects and the Android
Yeah.
projects. And like even if you don't get matched to a project, you will be like move to the next batch, so that you don't miss the chance and you don't have to reapply for from the starting because you could not find the project.
That is actually a good point. You should definitely look for, as I also mentioned earlier, check out the projects which are coming there, and see if you can work on something which you already know. So let's say if you're thinking of exploring Android development and you're creating a project for fellowship itself. But if you look for the project and you get to know that, okay, something, a company which I like that company, or you're just interested in that, and you get to know that they want a JavaScript or they have a TypeScript project for this summer, or the other batch, I believe that will definitely increase your chance if you apply with those particular tech stack or a language itself. So I hope that clears your question. I don't remember who asked, but I hope that clears your question. uh, One more question, which I guess I got two questions related to that. One person was asking. sorry, one person was asking if they are um, much into designing side, a front end side, and is it something like how will they share a project? Let's say if they just created a front end side of the project.
So if you have created a front end side of any project, then also you can consume APIs that are already available in the market, and
Yeah.
you can use those APIs to create a good project out of that. And I would suggest making a full stack project instead, because it includes end to end things. So you
Yeah.
will learn the back end designing part, you will get to know the databases and all of that things, how to choose a good how to choose a database which is whether it should be NoSQL or SQL
Yeah.
according to the project. So you'll get a large amount of things while learning and making those full stack project. So yeah, even if you know front end, then you can apply for that, but I would suggest that you should create a full stack project instead.
And uh, like I believe that if it's always good to be thinking of getting the more opportunities rather than just sticking to one side. So even if you are in your career, I would still say that if you are a student and would thinking about some stuff, I would say still explore the backend side to it. Don't just already think that you're just gonna be a front end developer, because the future is never gonna be what you usually have a tech stack, right? If you join a company or even in fellowship, it's not always gonna be you will be designing a website. It can be uh, just the front end side, or let's say a back end side, or anything can change, can be changes according the company needs. So definitely what Apoorv said, definitely look for it. And I hope I also had gotten another question with the just totally opposite side. I just had a backend sample code, so I believe that already answers the question which you just said. But if you have anything on it,
So like for the backend part, I can say that like if you have a CLI or you have a app that runs, then it has a like a visual feel to it, and
yeah,
it has like what's being displayed on the command line only. So that project as well as that project as also fulfills the need
yeah.
of that. So if you are making a CLI tool or something related, then it's a good project anyways.
That's actually a great answer, and um, yeah, that's pretty much great answer. Also, people were asking about which track they should apply. So just a little bit of context. There are three tracks, if I'm not wrong. One is open source, software engineering, and other one is production engineering. So these are basically yeah. How about you just explain it more and maybe um, guide a person if they are exploring which track they should choose.
So like if you have experience in Python and if you are more into DevOps thing, then you can apply for the production engineering. And if you want to learn about the DevOps and production engineering things,
Yeah,
then you can apply for that track. From the last batch and for this batch as well, the open source and software engineering are kind of clubbed together, so there is not much difference. It's possible that you are in the open source track and you may be working on a closed source project, or you are in the software engineering track which is a company specific, and like I'm working with Solana but I'm working on an open source project.
yeah.
So it can be a mix between two, so you can apply for both of them.
that, that's I believe that the tracks are something which if you get a little bit of understanding of what the tracks are, you should just try to think about what tech stack and what skills you have. And I guess that can pretty much, like, I don't think so you should think much that much into the tracks, as long as you really have a serious questions about it, because I believe you will still get to learn a lot about it. And if you don't have a preference, I would say software engineering or open source is good to go. Production engineering has some limitations, like uh, if I'm not wrong, Europe, Americans, and Canada people can only apply. So if you are interested in that, then you can also apply for that side. And yeah, I guess that pretty much sums up all the FAQs. And that kind of sums up the whole video itself. And it was really had I really had fun chatting with you, Apurva. If you have some final notes to the view.
Like this like while recording it, it's such a great experience how 42 minutes passed.
Yes.
It didn't feel like,
Yeah.
so maybe it's a too long video, so you can
Yeah.
add timestamps for everything, so that everyone can look
Yeah.
for the specific thing they need to be. And all the links will be in the description, and subscribe to his channel. And
Yes.
and lastly, you can ping us both on Twitter if you have
Yes.
anything
We
apart
have
from
the,
this.
if I'm not wrong, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Our usernames are there. So
It's in my display name only.
yes, it was really awesome chatting with you, Apurva, and I hope we meet again, just like we met in GitHub
Yes.
Field Day. And
Yeah.
just come to Mumbai, I guess. That's a perfect place
Yeah.
to meet. But yeah, I hope you all had fun, and I will try to make more videos if I get time. Um, but yeah, this was awesome, and I'm really hoping to do it again. So yeah, keep watching. Cut, 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 and I don't know how to cut it.